herbivore is the elephant. He's a very large animal, but he eats only plants. And we're making this great box and simulating the elephant hide using clay. So our supplies are black and white oven-baked clay. We have a paper mache box. We have some black paint. Then we also have our clay tools, a roller, rubber bands, and some clear glue. The first thing I want to do is to protect my work surface because I want to make sure that this is not going to touch any food items later. So I've put wax paper down. I'm going to take my paper mache box and put a layer of clear glue on top and let that dry so that it just has a little bit more tacky or a kind of rubbery appearance. Now I'm going to make some clay, and to get this gray color I've mixed 2 parts white and 1 part black. I'm going to just mix these 3 together. And what you do is you're going to work this in your hand or condition the clay so that it's soft and pliable. And then I'm going to roll it together, and I'm going to continue rolling until the colors mix together. And a nice tip to help make this a little bit easier is I can roll that down out flat, but I can also use a pasta machine. And if you put the clay into the pasta machine and roll it through, you get a nice thin layer of clay, and then we can roll that back in until you continue mixing, and we'll keep going through the pasta machine over and over again. Remember, this pasta machine is not really for pasta, it is just for clay, and you don't want to use it for food. So I continue going until I get it to the color that I want by putting it through, or if you don't have one of those, just by rolling it back on itself, and keep rolling until you get that good color. Now I've been playing with this one for a long time, and you can see there's still a little bit of white. Let's run it through the machine one more time to make it nice and thin. And now I'm ready to cover my box lid. So I've got my box lid here. I'm going to lay this on top. Let's make sure that's big enough. Center it on. Let's fold that up around the sides. And because of that little bit of extra tackiness on the side too, it helps it adhere nicely to the box. Now I'm going to just kind of pinch that off, that excess, kind of like you were icing a cake. And then I'm going to go back with my clay tools and trim off any excess. Cut that off a little bit. And I can trim down here as well. Remember, clay is going to stretch, so you can pull down the shape. And I don't want to have too much excess to the inside because then my box isn't going to close as easily. Now you'll take the time at home to make this nice and smooth. And you can see now my clay still had some coloration in it, and that's fine. Okay, the next step is I'm going to take my box and put it on top of my bottom, upside down, or put the lid on top of the bottom. Slide that down, and now this is how I'm going to get my texture. I'm going to go in with rubber bands. You can overlap some, but the majority of them, they just want them to be next to each other, and I'd put them all the way across the entire top. And let's do 1/2 of the box so you can see. But you continue to the whole box. Then I'm going to take my clay roller and I'm going to roll along this, just using a nice even pressure. And anywhere I've got the rubber band, if you pull these off, you're going to get that striation or a stripe into it. And that is creating the texture that looks like your elephant hide. Now, of course, we do the whole thing. I'm going to remove my lid, and now it's time to bake this. I'm going to put it onto my oven-safe tile, and I'm going to bake following the instructions that are on the packaging of the clay. Now, while that's going, I'm going to paint my box. So I've got my paint and brush all in one. I'm going to squeeze that down, and you can see the paint come to the top, and I'm going to paint this box. And I paint the bottom of the box, the sides, let that dry, and then continue and paint the inside of the box. I've got one that's all painted and ready here, so it's all done. Now, this is a clay piece that has been already heated and baked, so it's nice and hard. So now I'm going to go back with my paint, and I'm going to brush this along the top. Now you can add a little water if you'd like. I'm going along the side as well. Now I'm going to take a damp paper towel and rub over the top and take off a little bit of the excess paint. So what I wanted to do is kind of get right down into the cracks and crevices. Now if I want to add more, I'll just go back in again with my paint, go along the edge. So let's take a look at our finished box. It's a perfect place to store treasures.